I think it's just come from stuff that happened early on with the divorce of my parents, and then my mum leaving and then not seeing her to this day, and all that. And then, you know, my dad remarried, gained 3 stepbrothers, not really wanting to. And kind of he's in that new relationship where they're going off and doing things, and we're kind of just left. And that sounds awful on here, but like, you kind of just get on with it. And then I think that made me more introvert and shy and things like that. But we had a good time as well, because we left in the house with mates and having house parties at the age of like 13, 14 and things like that. God, this is going to sound awful, isn't it?
Pretty good,
but you know what I mean? Like, he was doing his thing as someone would in a new relationship, and then you feel like, oh, maybe he's not giving me enough attention or whatever. And you're dealing with a divorce, and people don't understand how much divorces affect kids of all ages.
Welcome to the pod again, and this morning I'm joined by Mike Brown. Mike Brown is a high performance consultant, and many of you will remember him as a fierce warrior on the rugby field. He'll talk about his career soon, but he was a legend for England, a legend for Harlequins, and known within his peers as this fierce competitor with extremely high standards that really led him to the top of the rugby world for a while. Mike, it's great to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on the pod.
No, thanks for having me. It's great to see you. The last time we saw each other, 2021?
Yeah.
Obviously,
wow, was it that long ago?
I think it was, yeah. Obviously, we kept in contact since, but in that lovely part of the world, Hebden Bridge.
Yeah, in Hebden Bridge.
Which is, it was lovely. It's a lovely place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very different to
London, eh?
Very different to London, but very picturesque. And visited your little cabin and spent some time in that river, didn't we?
we did.
Which was not, at least it was nice weather, so that made it good. But.
Yeah. So I met Mike initially, I don't know, a number of years ago. When did you win the Premiership with Quins? How many years ago?
2019, was it that year?
Yeah, so I would have met you.
COVID era, time, wasn't it? Yeah.
I would have met Mike that year after I did some consultancy at Quins. And then you were out of contract, weren't you? And
that was a tough period, yeah.
It was a tough period, but looking back, it got you asking some big questions, didn't it? About, you know, what happens when you retire, you know, the way you've shown up as a professional, diligent, hard-working rugby player, is that going to serve you when you leave the world of rugby? And all these questions were coming to you. So Mike came to see me for a couple of days in Hebden Bridge, where I live, and we just kind of unpacked a little bit around aspects of his leadership that maybe he hadn't stepped into. A lot of that would have been around the people piece and the emotional intelligence piece, and just kind of planted the seed of what he wanted when he retired. And then you signed a contract for Leicester, and you had a brilliant end to your career, right?
Yeah, so when we first met, it was that COVID period where Quins were going through a difficult time. Me personally, I was having a difficult time because I had a big injury at that point, which was my first big one of my career. So that was like nearly 10 months, I think, cartilage damage in my knee. So I was going through the end of the contract stuff, and then off of the back of that, the heartache of leaving my boyhood club of 18 years. And that was, all you can describe it as is heartache and heartbreak and everything I went through there. And then I did just under a season at Newcastle, and then that exit also is a common theme here. That exit didn't go too well, and then I was in a really low point. That's when I reached out to you, wasn't it? And off the back of that, spent some time with you, because I was very aware that if I continued in that headspace after the Newcastle thing, that wouldn't have gone too well. And obviously after our conversations, about just under a year before that, that's when I wanted to reach out to you, because I knew you could help with that sort of thing. So, like you said, spent a couple of days with you and kind of, I guess, gave me some focus and understanding and ways of dealing with stuff that was going on. And also another part of that was I was at the start of that transition journey as well. I was just about to start the masters on the academic side, because I'd kind of nailed down a position I wanted to go into in sport. So it's about to start that as well. So there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it was also that Newcastle point was the first time me and my family had moved away from the London area. First time for my wife as well. First time for me being at a different place, different club, dealing with that. So it was a lot to unravel and unpick. And no, it was good to be able to lean on you and go through that.
That must have been hard. You know, you're at Quins your whole career. There's a relationship there. You're a legend there. People will remember you for years to come. Most of the players always looked up to you because of your high standards and your work ethic. And then you have to leave. It's like a grieving process, right?
100%, yeah.
Family moving, and then uncertain of whether you'll get another contract, and then you end up going to Leicester, which we'll speak about in a moment. But that uncertainty, that unrest, that grief, those feelings in your body, what was good about it? Like, what good came out of it? What did you learn about yourself through it?
Yeah, I reckon now, looking back, it was the best thing that happened. Getting out of the environment I've been in for 18 years, and when you're in a place for so long, people just see you as that person, whether you are changing or not. And I think for me as well, I felt like I couldn't kind of be a certain way. And as you described me at the start, everyone just saw me as that person. But I feel like there was more to me, and it was like I was itching to kind of show that, but you don't really feel like you can. And then obviously all the other stuff doesn't help that was going on in the background. So when I left, I went to Newcastle. It was like a reset. Actually, I get a chance to show a different side of myself.
Brilliant.
Be a certain leader. Try and provide something that maybe Newcastle hadn't had before, or that group of players didn't have. Kind of drive something in a different way and just show up in a different way. I think if that's probably the best way to say it. And I think those Newcastle guys had a perception of me, but I think very quickly, having, and I still speak to a lot of them today. That was great to do that, and just grow in that way and just be allowed to grow, and then also it just pushes you out of your comfort zone, right? Like moving away from somewhere and the family and dealing with all that sort of stuff, and you kind of sit back and realize actually I can do it.
So as a man, it gave you an opportunity to show different aspects of yourself that maybe you'd learned not to show at Quins. Yeah,
definitely. I think at Quins I was still that quiet person who kind of was, when I did speak, it was very direct and like, right, you need to do this, let's get on with it. And that's why for example, me and Danny Kerr worked quite well in that environment, because he was like the happy-go-lucky sort of lovable rogue and
good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, yeah, exactly that. Especially with the backs, like I'd go one way and then he'd come in with a bit more of the niceties, I guess, to kind of balance that out.
So going to a different club, you've got to find more range in yourself, don't you?
100%. So yes, I could still do the direct stuff
as well.
Yeah, could do the direct stuff, but then I was being collaborative and getting other people's thoughts and opinions and really pushing them to do that, because they'd never had that before. It was very top down, right? You need to do this. Really hammering them with that, and their confidence and belief had just been absolutely blown. So then I came in and kind of tried to create more collaboration. And I would say in meetings, I'd be like, well, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Guys, we've got to speak up here, because, it's not just Dave Walder, for example, telling us what to do.
Yeah. So instead of disagreeing with people, you were asking questions,
A bit more, which was nice. Yeah. And I think they liked it. I could feel like they liked it. And speaking to them now, Radwan, for example, was at Newcastle with me and then joined Leicester. Yeah. And people jokingly say, oh, what was Brownie like? It must have been tough, losing more and stuff like that. And he was like, no, it was... From what I heard, he was brilliant, and
so it brought a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I imagine the lads at Newcastle and Leicester, because I've been at clubs before when a big names come in. At Wasps, for example, Dorse was coming in, and everybody's like, oh, he was an amazing human being. But I imagine the lads at Newcastle and Leicester thinking, fucking hell, Bruyne's coming. He's gonna fucking raise the training standard, but.
He's an arsehole.
He's going to be fucking arguing
every
week.
He's an arsehole.
He's going to be fucking arguing every week. And
Yeah. And then there was that element as well where I was more direct, or I'd argue back, or I'd, especially on the field. But I think they very much saw a different side of me, especially at Newcastle. And that was nice to do. And then Leicester, less of that, because there were so many big characters and World Cup winners and most capped England players. I didn't need to be that. So again, I was a bit more reserved.
Right.
which was fine. I didn't mind being that. Probably even more so at the back end of when I finished last season, more reserved and withdrawn. But I think that was the other stuff I was going through in terms of knowing it was the end.
Yeah.
I was still showing in my actions that I wanted to play and
Yeah.
pushing standards that way, but it wasn't really that vocal
Yeah.
and things like that. But I think that's fine.
So when you played, your standards were so high, and as a young man, and it happened to me as well. I had some difficulties with some staff when I used to work for Wales, but as a young man, you're driven, you're determined, you work hard, you're in first, you're home last, high standards, extras, and you think that's how everybody should be, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the frustrations you had as a player and how that changed as you matured a little bit as you got older.
But yeah, I struggled with that at Quins, definitely, because they there historically are a certain way. You would have found this when you came in a certain environment, certain culture.
When I worked at WAS, you thought Quins were soft, you know.
Yeah, which I get. You know, there's expectations around playing a certain way, which is fine. As a player, like loved playing that way and enjoy that way of playing. And I think teams can do that more. But the problem was it would then kind of lean into that too much of the enjoyment and nice and everyone being best mates and loving each other, which I don't think is...
That would have took you to the edge, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was tough. You know, no one would have a direct conversation. No one would say certain things with fear of not having a mate anymore or stuff like that. And also, I don't think... through the majority of my time at Quins, performance mattered enough, winning mattered enough. I now realise that success you can see in different ways, but still even that, reflecting on that, there wasn't enough of that. Like, we're there to perform at the end of the day still, like, we're there to win. Well, I am. Yeah. You know, for me as a player, especially in that Quins period, was everything was about winning. So me winning was playing well for the team. But then that wasn't enough. I had to win the game. Otherwise, I'd be on myself, taking it really personally. What should I have done? I should have done that better, and that cost us the game, or whatever. That's all that mattered. And then also for me individually, all that mattered was playing for England. And then the cycle begins. Playing well, winning. That's all I cared about. Which made me probably a bit of an arsehole and gave me that drive and stuff like that. But then it turns you into a fucking nightmare to be around and work with
and manage
and manage maybe probably. I was probably quite high maintenance in one way but not another, because they knew I would be doing everything to perform, but then high maintenance in terms of curbing expectations, or I don't know, trying to manage my frustrations and stuff like that, being so driven to win. It was it's an interesting mix.
I mean, I honour you for being vulnerable and saying that you was an arsehole and stuff like that sometimes, and you know, maybe you got frustrated for the wrong reasons because you didn't understand others. But do you think at times you might have been misunderstood as well? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I think if you're that certain way, sometimes people don't understand you back. And
you was a disruptor, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so. And don't understand you back or don't want to understand you back, because it works both ways. I needed to do it, but also. So if I would ever challenge or get in a kind of confrontational argument or whatever, it was always, stop getting so grumpy, man. Oh, you're always so grumpy. Oh, you know, why are you always moaning? Yeah. Well, it's like, it's not always moaning. Some, you know, a human, everyone moans, but like, it's just always seen as that. But it's actually no, it's because I want us to get better or win or, you know, challenge something and again, like, take responsibility. Maybe I could have said it in certain ways, which I think I can better do now, but like still people just lean on that when it's a hard conversation or I'm being a certain way. It was exhausting after a while.
How old was you when you had your first child?
So 2017, so I would have been 30, I've got my maths here. What, 32?
Oh, wow, okay.
What
effect did that have on your mindset and your mentality and your leadership?
Less selfish. That was the word I was looking for. Selfish. It's not all about me now. It's about this, you know, young baby brought into the world. you get an even higher purpose. You know, it's not just winning for my own ego and drive and desires or whatever. It's now, it became all about when he grows up, looking at my career and showing him kind of role modeling what work ethic and resilience and drive and things like that can get you in life, whatever pathway you have been on, what that can show you. So hopefully I've been able to do that for both my kids now.
Did it open you up in any way? Because I imagine that for years and years as a professional rugby player, you've conditioned yourself so much to be in process, structure, direction, fueled by anger and determination, but you actually don't feel much else. Did it open you up in any way to any other feelings that you maybe had masked in your rugby career?
I don't know. I don't know, actually. It's a good question. I think the feeling that having a child gives you is just overwhelming love, like nothing else. Like you can't even describe it because you can't compare it to anything else. That love you have for your child. So definitely that. And then, like I said, everything is about them now. Like I don't really care. About myself. Well, actually, no, that's a lie, because you do have your ego there. It is there, but it's less about that fueling that. It's more like now, you know, financially look after them, you know, emotionally look after them. Am I doing enough for them? Like that constant battle in your head around, am I there for them enough? Am I providing them enough? Am I being enough as a dad?
Did any of that carry over into your fight? Did any of that, you mentioned then providing emotional safety for them, which is big. Did any of that carry over into the end of your rugby career? Were you a better teammate later in your career? Were you able to be there more for your teammates? Did anything shift there for you?
I just think the journey in general, and that would have been part of it. I would hope that allow me to be a better teammate at times, be more open and. I was definitely a different way. Like I definitely was that. You know, more about connecting with people and things like that. So definitely that side of. But I think that comes from having a child, emotionally maturing with age,
grieving Harlequins as well.
Yeah, grieving Harlequins, which again I'm still not over. Like we spoke about this how many years ago? Like 4 years ago. Getting over that, and you were like, you probably never will. But there's steps you can help with that, and I don't think I ever will. Probably until certain people leave that place. The sad thing is I've lost that emotional connection with them anymore. When I watch them play, I'm interested sometimes, like Leicester, Quins the weekend. I'm interested because I played for both teams.
Of course.
But there's nothing there. And I have a connection still with the supporters, especially ones I see when I'm at the games or whatever, that I've known, you've a friendly face that you recognise because they've been there for years. There's that connection and things like that. But with the club as a whole, and it makes me sad because, you know, I didn't want it to be like that. You know, I thought I'd transition into that club and use everything I knew and know and loved about the place into my next career there. But then I'm also glad that I didn't do that, because I'd have just stayed in one place.
Yeah. We were talking earlier, and I loved what you said about ending your career. You know, and to be fair to you, it looked like from the outside in, you were putting things into place, you were learning, you were aware of what was on the horizon, and it was really comforting to hear you say earlier that, you know, you don't miss playing, and you feel like you've got a healthy separation. You're stepping into your uniqueness. You want to become an entrepreneur in the high performance space. And I'm thinking, wow, if only more players had that kind of route, they would be less traumatized when they finish playing. They would be less likely to go into bad habits and so on and so on. So I honour you for that.
But I would stop you and say, though, that it's still a journey. Like I've done some things, and probably forced upon with the Quins stuff and the trauma of that, and but that process was in place, but that pushed it even more. That I'm still navigating the journey now, and things are changing, and it's hard. The uncertainty. There's not a clear pathway like you are as an athlete, where you kind of know, right, I want to play for England, or
Yeah.
I want to get the first team. Okay, I need to do this, play the first team, I need to do this. There's a clear pathway. You can see the end in sight.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you don't.
Yeah.
Like I've already altered a route, which we spoke about, from what I'm doing now to something else within 9 months because of things changing and adapting all the time. So it sounds nice and sounds, I guess, easy, and it's all fine, and we've sailed into the sunset, but it's like, honest, like the navigating stuff, and
you're in the unknown, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just dealing with that and things like that. But then on the flip side, it's so exciting. Like I'm finding it exciting, growing and developing and meeting new people, and how things can turn out. I love the flexibility of being at home more with the family, and get weekends now, which is great. Things like that. So there's kind of pros and cons to it, for
it's
sure.
good to see both sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you look back over your rugby career, I know for you it's just a cycle, and now you're on the next cycle, and you've got this capacity to look at life in terms of chapters. When you look back over your rugby career, you did some great stuff. You had a great career, won a lot of things, a lot of caps. Did you enjoy it?
Not in the whole, I don't think. Like reflecting back, like I feel like I'm enjoying life more now.
That's why I asked the question.
Because it's like you said, you get put in a box. You have to be a certain way, so then you don't feel like you can grow. Or sorry, I didn't feel like I could grow. I should stop, saying that. But like I felt like I was stuck in that box for a long time. It's the constant grind of doing the right things that you need to do to get to a certain level.
Like a robot, eh?
Yeah, it's I would say a lot of being involved in a lot of toxic environments, which with an overthinker and a worrier had an effect on me. Dealing with, a few toxic leaders that also with the way my mind works, I struggled with.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever comfortable in those. And you speak about it, those macho environments that are all about egos and pushing yourself forward, feeding that ego and being a certain way and front center of attention, all that sort of stuff. You know what I'm like, makes me uncomfortable. So I like being, kind of at the back, kind of observing more than being in front of. So all that really, didn't make me feel comfortable. Probably why a lot of time I'd withdraw and just stay quiet.
It's great to hear you say that you're enjoying life more now, actually. It's a good sign.
I think so, yeah.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me excited how much you can grow.
You've also got more space now in your life to feel. You don't have any space to feel as a rugby player. You just vroom, vroom, vroom. I can't feel that. I've got a fucking match at the weekend. Vroom. You're feeling more now, and you're feeling the juice of life a bit more.
Yeah, like just meeting so many different people, being in so many different industries already, having only been out a few months and working in different industries, is like you just, wow, this is so much going on that you didn't even realise. Like we spoke before around, you realise, we don't at the time, but then you realise that rugby is so small within the grand scheme of things in the world. Yeah. You go through something traumatic in your career. So for me, Quins or not going to the World Cup in 2019 with England, and you're sat there, you're going, oh, what are people thinking of me? And oh, everyone's going to be looking at me if I leave the house, and oh, this is awful. And then you're like, actually, is it? No one really gives a shit.
Exactly.
No one really cares.
Yeah.
They go on with their lives. They might hear about it and go, oh, that's bad. Oh, okay. They've forgotten about it. Yeah. But for you, it's like you realise there's so much more important stuff going on. There's so much more to learn. There's so much more out there that you open your eyes up to, and you're like, geez, like this, there is.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
But not only out there, here, like there's more to you and there's more to me that we haven't even experienced yet. For me, it's just self-actualization. It's high performance, being the best version of ourselves. It's just fucking, potential's infinite. We just keep peeling back the layers.
Just hiding your comfort zone is a big one as well.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm trying to lean it out. Well, I am leaning out of that all the time. Yeah. Sometimes daily.
So you're embracing being out of the box of Mike Brown
as much as I can. Yeah. As much as I can.
Yeah.
But then that goes into the bit I was saying around the transition. It's scary. It's unknown. It's anxiety's there.
Yeah.
You know, for example, I'm doing a talk for a company next month. It's scaring the shit out of me. I'm not good at presentations. Well, I don't think I'm good at presentations. I'm not comfortable doing presentations. I've not done many. So I'm like, oh my God.
So that
already.
So that feeling that's going to come up in your body when you do that, do you think that's going to be any different to the feeling you had in your body before you first capped for England?
No, probably not. No.
I
don't know.
So you've been there, aren't you?
Yeah. But but I'm trying to lean into it as much as possible. And I keep trying to come up with so many excuses to not do it, and I'm getting over that each time and trying to learn it and I've got it lined up to present to my wife, just her, which is hard enough.
Yeah. Tell her to be silent.
Yeah. So just doing all that, but I know it's gonna stand me in good stead to keep doing that.
How old are you now?
40.
40. So, mate, as a 40-year-old male leader in the world, you know, and there's various hats there. You know, you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have your business, you're a dad, you're a mate, you're a husband, you're a son. But as a 40-year-old male leader today, what's different about you compared to the 20-year-old male leader?
I'd like to think I'm more aware, especially around ego and the impact of ego in terms of decision making and what that's pushing you to do and the biases around that and how you turn up as a person, communicating, things like that. I think I'm more aware of other people and the judgment around that. I'm not very empathetic person. Is that the right word? Empathetic person. Empathy's quite hard for me, but I think I'm way more of that person now. Like see their point of view or how they might be thinking or what might be pushing them to be a certain way.
Would you have a greater, difficult to phrase this in the right way, but would you have a greater relationship with your emotions now compared to when you were 20? Are you more open to the feelings that you come and go inside of your body compared to when you were 20?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Definitely from 20, but I still think there's way more I can do. Yeah. Like even at home, like just navigating that, you know, the constant battle of.
That's the real mate. That's the real measure of leadership, isn't it?
That's, honestly, it's so hard, you know, because we've got a 2-year-old to that toddler stage, as people can understand who've been through that, as well as a 7-year-old. So just navigating the dynamic of the 4 of us. When me and my wife are together with the 2 children, how that dynamic is, and the high stress, and me trying to help my wife, but they're not over helping, and dealing with them 2 wanting attention from mainly my wife, and then trying to step in and help that, but they don't want my attention, and want hers, and then she's getting stressed, and then I'm getting in the way, and dealing with that new way of living as well, where I'm around more. So she's had her own, she's very likes a certain way of process and has her own way of dealing with things. I come in and disrupt that from being away so much to compared to now, so finding my way into that, and and then giving her enough time as well, because she needs certain things in terms of my time, and then there's the work side of it, because I'm driven with that, but also want to provide for them, and there's so much going on in your head. But people, I think, sometimes don't have awareness with men. I would say, if I'm being honest, and I probably get backlash for this, but like everyone talks about the woman's job and what they have to deal with, which is way harder than the men, I think. Yeah. But there's never an awareness that is hard for men as well. Of course. Whether it's not a competition, like to see who's harder, but just have an awareness that the men are going through a lot as well.
100%.
So it is a challenge.
Yeah. Let's talk about mentors. In your rugby career, was there a standout coach that you worked with, and that coach was able to help to make you feel safe, curious to understand who you are, and know how to kind of press your buttons to get the best out of you. Does any coach come to mind? Who would be the closest one to that you work with?
I don't know whether any of them really did that. And again, I guess I'm a complex sort of character the way I am. And Haskell even said it on the pod I did with him, his pod the other day, like, he's not met many, if any, people that can switch from being the way I am off the field to suddenly an absolute, again, arsehole or a certain way, or, you know, there's positives of that on the field.
Yeah. Ruthless, yeah?
Yeah, and aggressive and confrontational. Like, the difference is a certain way, and that's what I needed to get the best out of myself. But so I'm sure it was hard to lead and manage and coach. But Andy Friend early on, so I would have been around 20, 21 when he was coach with Harlequins. He was the next fullback as well. He was great with us young lads, me, Jordan Turnhall, Danny Kerr, taking us under his wing. So he was perfect at that at the start and coaching us a certain way, and he did actually make us feel like we belong and valued, and looked after us, not just around the rugby stuff. And he gave me a great message early on around the skills of being a fullback, the technical skills, that if I didn't go and work on those, I would not even get into the Quins first team. And it was the push I needed, because you go in there, you think the bees knees, the fucking, you know, whatever, the bollocks basically, after a few good games. But he was spot on. And that ended up being one of my strengths of my career that everyone mentions, the high ball. That's specifically what he said. So he was great in that period. Conor O'Shea was good. Again, just seeing how he kind of got all stakeholders driving to one cause, exactly what we needed at the time. He gave us real confidence in terms of that playing style, the way we wanted to play, and in terms of being like, we don't give a shit about anyone else. We only care about ourselves. Probably didn't help with feeding me with that certain character, but like, fuck everyone else. We're going to go and play the style we want to play. If you're good enough to beat us, then fair play, but you're not.
Yeah.
So, fuck you all. Gave us that. But then after that, I struggled with... I did love Stuart Lancaster's way with me in terms of just leaving me to be me. Like, he was never one for kind of saying, you need to do this, be that sort of player, or do this. Which allowed me just to go out and play, which showed in what I achieved with England at that time and the way I played. And I liked his values as a man actually as well. Like, just hard working, honest sort of bloke.
Okay.
Integrity. Family man. Yeah, I think so. You know, even after all the shit that happened, you know, he's getting peppered by players and media and all this stuff, but he still never came out and blamed anyone else. Not that I've seen. Don't know if you've seen anything different. Like, that's got to say something about the man. You know, he's only ever blamed himself. The fact that he didn't handle the media well, or his focus got taken away, or anything like that. So it's got to be a lot said for that, hasn't there?
So he would have modelled to you what you value in radical accountability, yeah?
I think so.
Like, it starts with you.
Yeah, looking off, like, he doesn't blame, not what I've seen, but like, not from what I've seen, but it's got to be something in that, you know, from all the shit that he's had. Yeah. And the way he's turned it around with what he's done, and that's like fair play to him, like, because that could bury anyone in any career the way that happened.
Who's the best captain you've been led by, and why? What was it about that man?
I always find it hard with these sort of questions, because I don't ever think there was one stand out, but like, you kind of look at taking different things from different people.
Yeah, do that.
So with Robbo, I loved his showing in actions and less with his talk. I always respect that in a person when they show in their actions.
Integrity.
There's too many fucking talkers in sport, like in sporting environments where they talk a good game, but actually do they show in their actions? He always did, in fact. And we kind of we came through the academy together, and from then it was almost like we were kind of pushing each other. You know, I'd look. I hope it'd be the same the other way, but I'd always look, what's he doing? He's doing extra fitness, I'll do that as well. Or I'd stand next to him in the fitness runs, I'd try and beat him, or at least keep up with him, or, you know, what extras is he doing? oh, I need to do more, or what's he doing with whatever. So I felt like that always pushes you when you kind of had that informal person driving you. So I think he was that for me through the early stages. Dylan Hartley, I did like the way he managed being that kind of person in between the players and an absolute fucking maniac, Eddie Jones. He must have been exhausted with it in that time, like having to deal with that.
Yeah.
And yes, he was an extension of Eddie in certain ways, and that's why Eddie picked him, but he still has to manage that and do everything he can, because he is a fucking maniac. So he would have taken on a lot of the shit for the lads. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's dealing with that, and I thought he did that like exceedingly well, and the way it finished for him shouldn't have ended like that, in my opinion. So you have to respect him for that. I'm trying to think what other captains I had. I loved Andre Vos, ex-South African player, who was our captain when we got relegated and turned that round for us. Like, he was the first captain I saw, and like, fucking tough bloke, like tough South African, but also that loving side as well. It was great with us young lads. Yeah. So I had him early on. So I think those three were definitely stand out there for different reasons.
Let's talk about transition, because it's a tricky period. You know, when you've been on that treadmill of everything done for you, you've got an identity, you're getting plaudits every week, you're in the paper, feels good, you're fit, you're stacked, everybody loves you most of the time. Are you trying
to say something now? Are you?
And then it all comes to an end. You know, it's especially when did you pick up a rugby ball?
Five years old.
So 5 years old. It's like, when did you retire?
So what? Yeah. So June this year. Yeah. So when just before I was 40, 39. Yeah. So
how many years your career then? From 5, how many years you play rugby?
So 21 as a professional. So what? 35. Yeah.
Like 35 years. I mean, it's no different to being in the army on a long stint, is it?
Yeah. No wonder I have no desire to pick up a rugby ball now.
So it's a tricky period, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you are sat here, there's a glint in your eyes, you're smiling, you look fairly relaxed, you know, you're not suicidal, you're doing something about it. When did it kind of hit you that, fuck, I'm not going to do this forever? And what, as a player, what did you start to do about it? Yeah. Just talk me through that journey so other people can learn from that, especially rugby players watching this and people working with rugby players. Yeah. When did you think, it's not going to last forever, this, I need to do something about it?
I think probably a few years into my career, I was always thinking, oh my God, it will end. Not all the time, but like it would dawn on me and what am I going to do? And that was the issue I had. I'm not someone that can kind of just dip into stuff and just do it for the experience or whatever. I actually do wish I was a bit more like that and did that and talk about the comfort zone thing, leaning into things that push me out my comfort zone. But I didn't. I wasn't that way. So I always had that kind of on my mind every now and then. And then that obviously accelerates the more you get through your career. Yeah. And then off the back of those thoughts, which become more regular, I knew I wanted to stay in elite sport, but it wasn't coaching. It doesn't fit me as my personality the way I am. That might change, but not at the moment. And I kept seeing this role, sporting director, which had come bigger in football, especially within England. I think it was been around a lot in Europe, but moved over to England. And I kept seeing that.
Is that what Ben does at Brentford?
Not quite a sporting director, but he's around the performance space, which is a role and that's very broad, I think, but that's a role I'd definitely love to go into in sport somewhere. Yeah. But it was that sporting director who's basically, to put it in easy terms, the CEO of the performance side. So you're effectively, so like the CEO in a business, you'd have all the different functions which you have to align for the long, medium and short-term strategy of the business. So finance, corporate services, marketing, blah, 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 all those. So it's the same with the performance side. So your academy, the first team, medical, S&C, etc., psychology, analysis, all those different strands. it's then your job to lead those, align those, manage those through the heads of departments. So for first team, it'd be the head coach, for example. You know, they recruit for all those, as well as the culture, the environment, and then the strategy around the long-term, medium and short-term.
Mm-hmm.
And it's effectively, it came big in football because of the turnaround of head coaches. So it's to kind of stop that big trauma of change around the turnover of the head coach, where a new coach comes in, doesn't want any players, you have to recruit all those, the environment and culture changes. You now got someone that's thinking long term around all those areas. And it's then around that time I was thinking around it started becoming more regular happening in rugby. So general manager, they call it. So as you know, Billy Millard at Quins. So that got me even more enthusiastic about it, more research I was doing. And then I was thinking, well, I'm not going to just keep playing and just ask for a handout. I want to go and educate myself on that. So then I have, you know, a bit of paper to put on the CV, as well as the playing experience as well, which will hopefully make me look more rounded, so I can apply myself, but also the learning around that as well. So, and sorry for waffling on, but it's kind of a long process. But then I saw this Masters in Sport and Directorship kept popping up at Manchester Met. And it was the first of its kind. Now there's loads of them, but it's first of its kind in that sort of area. And then it took me about a year to kind of push myself to just be like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm not very academic. I did all the way up to sixth form, but my grades were pretty middle of the road. Like, struggled through it. Sport was always my thing. It's not like I didn't try it. I just struggled with the way you get taught and that sort of curriculum and exams. Just couldn't do exams. The more I revised,
nightmare, innit?
more I revised, the less I remember. Like, I literally just could not do it. Anyway, so that was a big push to do that. With people telling me not to do it as well. Like, not everyone was going to do it. I think my wife was probably the only one that would be like, no, just fuck it, just do it. And even like the player development guy at Quins, I remember going, don't do it. I don't know, I think it's too much. That's not helping my confidence. But I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. Invested in a tutor to help me learn how to write properly, and did loads of reading before I'd even started that, whether it was right or not, but it just got me trying to practice learning. I bought a MacBook computer laptop for the first time. I only ever had an iPad to try to learn how to use Word and Excel and things like that. Like, people laugh at that now, but like, I had no idea. I only ever had an iPad to watch films on a fucking journey to Newcastle away. Well, do you know what I mean? Like, as a typical rugby player, like, or a PlayStation, that's all I knew. So doing all that before it even started, and that was the first real getting out of your comfort zone thing. I was just sat in that lesson like, what the hell is going on here? Like, people from different roles in sport, people had been through uni. I hadn't even been through uni. I jumped straight to a master's. It was a real opener. So that was then the start of the journey. So get through that, got a distinction, which was buzzing about.
Great.
So that was 2.5 years. So that was the start of the journey of it. And then went through that period after Newcastle. I didn't play, and then wanted to educate myself in a different sport. So then did the level 4 in talent ID and development at the FA. I remember us two talking about it in our sessions.
So you did that eventually?
Did that, yeah. So initially it was to get on the level 5, which is the big sporting director course that they have there. But that would have been too much. So they put me in, fair credit to them, put me in at level 4, one just below, which is specialised in talent ID and development, which is a kind of a strand of the sporting director role. But again, pushing myself out of the comfort zone to be around people that are in football. Mainly they were around recruitment and agents or scouts, people like that, or managing scouts. But like, just to be in that room, being the rugby guy that no one knew, they all knew each other and stuff like that. It was just like, it was another step in that out of the comfort zone, but another thing you learn and develop. And then just rolled from there, really.
Let's talk about high performance. Like, as a 40-year-old Mike Brown, you are arguably a high performer, probably from the age of about 16, right? In terms of the way you applied yourself. Finished retired last year. Do you view that word any differently now as you're looking towards your career and what's important and thinking about your next roles and how you want to support the program and people? And is the way you look at high performance now changed in any way compared to when you were that young, hungry, relentless rugby player?
Yeah, definitely. I talk around it being like a healthy high performance now. So when I was young and coming through, and it fit the way I was, just getting work hard, high stress, high challenge, high, work ethic. Whereas now, having been through good and I believe toxic environments with certain leaders and leaning on those experiences, I can see, or I feel there's a better way of having these environments or creating these environments that are healthy, high performance environments. So it's that instead of constant pressure, but there's purpose, instead of always leaning on that stress, sometimes pulling back and having more of an environment of care and things like that. It's more of a balance, basically.
So care of the people within the environment is important to you.
Understanding the individuals, what gets best out of them. At high stress, 24/7.
But if it's healthy high performance, you'd enjoy it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying it, it's not healthy, is it?
Yeah, and I still think that it needs to be not quite centered, but just skewed towards that high performance that we know, but still with a lot more of the elements of that. Like every environment is just, for some reason, I think in rugby is just all stress. But then we talk in normal life, the stress is bad for you.
Yeah.
So try and get rid of that stress. It literally is, from the moment you walk in, high stress, and I don't see how that is good for you. It's exhausting. It's challenging, and it needs to be challenging.
Yeah.
And you touch on that and you give exposure to that, but then you back off.
Yeah.
But it's constant, and I think it's getting worse.
You must come to Wigan with me sometime.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah.
We'll
Matty P, like he is.
It's different, mate.
Listening to him, reading about him.
It's not high stress. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's balanced. It's grounded. It's connected. It's enjoyable. It's loving. And they're in the third grand final on a Saturday night.
And there is the time for the stress and exposing people to that and making sure they are ready for when the stress is coming in elite sport, which we all see on the TV and read about, but not all the time. Like you say, grounded, connected, understanding, development, support. There's not enough of it.
So it sounds like for you, high performance now is more about caring for the people, connecting with the people, understanding how they tick, and then getting the best out of them through those three pillars, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that a reflection of the shift in you internally, in the way that you see the world and what you value? Yeah,
I think so. Like you say, value there. Like I just see more value in it. I can understand it, having been through the experience I've been in, even up to the point of the role I'm in now, in that finance tech industry. Like the lack of it. It's just toxic, like the way it makes people feel, the uncertainty around that, the stress they're going through. We've just been through a big acquisition merger where it's over doubled our workforce, so big redundancies. Even people that aren't anywhere near the crossover of roles that might cause redundancy, even they're stressed because there's been no communication, no clarity, no connection with the people from the leadership. And it's just the amount of stress it causes people. Yeah. How can they perform? How's that high performance? How can they perform? There's no connecting with people. Developing people. Giving them clarity around their pathways and things like that. It's way more in my head now and way more aware of it now. And that's what I want my consultancy to be about. Is that healthy, high performance environments. Going in, helping people assess their environments, to then feed back to the leaders around what I'm seeing around their environment, to then help them make change. Really
great. Tell us a little bit about that then, mate. Because I know that you've coming to the end of your career. You've done a bunch of courses, pretty big courses. And I remember we we made a long list of people to meet. You've met all those people. You've networked more than ever before. And you've tried the corporate space. You're about to go into your own kind of brand. What could that look like for you?
What, in terms of the career kind of path?
In terms of the next stage for you, in terms of your own stuff?
Grow my consultancy around what I was talking about there, and which then allows me to grow even more because I'm learning more about high performance, which I am so passionate about. Yeah. And to give that context around the passion, it's been all about me and being performing and high performing or not, as however way you look at it, through my experiences. But now I'm really passionate about helping individuals and teams in whatever industry perform to their, or giving them the opportunity to perform. Like, I'm really passionate about that and learning so much in that area anyway. Right. So growing that, I do think in whatever capacity it will lead me back to elite sport, because I don't think that passion will ever go, because I was in it for so long.
Yeah, of course.
And do love that challenge and stuff around elite sport. Yeah. Like, I look at someone like Quins, for example, and with all the experiences and knowledge around that organisation and club, you know, the understanding of the expectation around that, where they play, having lived and breathed that, the change I think they need in that environment and culture, while still keeping hold of what makes them different. The pathway from being a young boy moving to all the way to the first team and beyond in that environment. So understand what they're going through, people that are doing that, and the importance of that. You know, just the club's tradition and history and that feeling I had for them, to then be able to use that with all the learning I've made and being in different environments and the passion about the performance space and learning about that sporting director role. I don't think there would be a better person or a better placed person to go in there, somewhere like that, and make a real difference. I still look at them from the outside with less of that emotional connection because of certain people that are still there, but think, oh, I could do something there. I honestly think that, and make it a place that not just performing for the club, but performing for the people in there as well. Yeah, I just think there's got to be something there. I look at a club like that, but open to anything around that. But at the moment, it's that consultancy piece. Yeah.
Your passion for holistic performance comes through. You know, you even use that word a lot. Passion is that's evident in you. It's kind of part of your DNA, isn't it?
Yeah, I just loving it. Like, I love learning about it. Like, I've got so much to learn it. Like, I listen to people like yourself and other people on podcasts, and I want to read so many books, but I can't keep up, especially with family life. I'd love to just sit down for a day and read loads of the books on it, and keep learning around that and doing different courses around that and getting it. I'd love to connect with more people, getting environments like Wigan, for example. I'd love to go to Wigan. The distance makes it harder. Yeah, of course. What's happened, you know, around playing at Leicester with that travel and family and stuff like that, it makes it hard to do, but I'd love to go in there. Like Matty P, I'd look at someone like Matty P that has sustainable long-term success, not just on the field, but what you're saying, like what you're hearing and feeling from the environment in there. Christian Wade, most recently, who I speak to a fair amount, especially when he went in there, I was like, mate, is it as good as everyone makes that? He's like, I fucking love it. Like, you look at someone like Matty Pete and what's done there, like, in awe. Yeah, Matt is the closest thing for me to Faz. Yeah. He's the closest thing. Yeah, he's just like, at the moment, I've had 2 phone calls with him and both times come off going, fucking hell, what a human. And he's never even met me. Like, wow. Okay, so you're on your journey, brilliant. You've got out in one piece. You're kind of creating your own destiny, which is probably what you did as a player anyway, so good on you for that. Imagine your life right now as a performance, and you're being assessed by 3 kind of performance gurus, and they've seen your life, they've seen 40 years of how you've been living,
and they're giving you some feedback on how to perform better in the next 5 years of your life, as a bloke, as a son, as a dad, as a husband, as a performance consultant, what are they saying to you?
I think with home life, it's probably not put yourself under too much pressure to be all those things that I was saying, you know, a good dad, or what's perceived as a good dad, perceived as a good husband, financially and all that sort of stuff. Because then that leads to frustration and stress, and then not being able to show up the way I want to, and getting too stressed and stuff like that. So probably that. I think.
So just being more present at home, right?
Yeah.
With what is.
Yeah, just go with it and just try it.
Providing presence.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
With work, again, not trying to be too quick, not trying to get there too quick. It takes time as a process. You know, in this change I'm even making now, I'm like, I just want it quick. I want to get that first bit of work for the consultancy. I want to go and see so-and-so, or speak to them, or them to get back to me so I can go into that environment, or go and speak to them about potential work. You know, I was speaking to a decent-sized company just last week, and they're super keen for me to come and get involved in some associate projects there, and I'm like, all right, come on then, let's get going. Well, I've just got to keep understanding it's a process. You know, I'm only a few months still out of my last career, so I think just not be too quick with that, and not get frustrated if it's not coming straight away. It's a process; it will happen. Just keep doing all the little things to get you there.
Cool.
So that with work. What else would they assess? As a friend?
Yeah, go on, as a friend.
As a friend. Not give up on people too quick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I do try and connect with people, or stay connected with people, or meet up with them or whatever, and then I get frustrated, or maybe not expect too much of them.
Yeah.
Because they don't get back to me quick enough, or we don't end up meeting, or whatever, or I don't hear from someone for ages. Like, they've all got their own, and again, it goes back to the awareness of other people, is they've all got their own stuff going on, challenges, or work things, or their own drives and motivations. So not expect too much of people sometimes. So probably that.
What do you do to keep yourself kind of, I know you probably still exercise, which helps you. What do you have anything that go-tos that help to keep you kind of centered and present and patient? And
no, I need to do that more, 100%. So I do find myself sometimes when I get a spare 5 minutes doing that breath work we spoke about. But I don't do it enough. My time is too much. I get up, I go in the gym before the kids get up, hammer myself there, which I need to do, and I love doing, and that sets me up for the day. But it is that, again, high. What would you call it?
Well, it's fight or flight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, which I do. I like doing that. But then the kids are up, so then that's high stress and all that stuff, getting them ready for school, and then getting them to school, and then it's straight into work stuff, and then it's picking up.
I mean, you've been conditioned to be in fight or flight, really, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a bit like that a lot of the time.
So slowly reclaiming the slow part of Mike.
Yeah, I need to create that
patient
discipline.
Part of Mike, the silent, still part of Mike, the non-controlling, spontaneous part of Mike. That's still a part of your leadership journey, right? Which means, in my experience, you don't lose that. You'll never lose that, ever. It just gives you a bit more range as a leader.
I need to create space to do that.
Create space.
Because I'm not at the moment. And I was even saying to my wife, like, I get to the weekend and I'm like exhausted. And even by Sunday night, when you think you're recharged for a week, I'm still like on edge, and the patience isn't there and stuff like that. And I said to her this weekend, we need to sit down and basically carve out time for each of us just to have an afternoon to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it is lovely being all together all the time, but I don't think humans are made for that.
No, you need to restore the polarity by
And
spending
I'm already
time
around a
apart,
lot of
don't you?
people and stuff going on and connecting with people, and where I take the kids and then she has her time, and then she takes the kids and I have a time, or the kids get taken by someone else. Sounds awful, doesn't it? Taken by someone else, like granny or someone, or a babysitter. So then us two can have some time, which we don't get enough of either. So, and also I was thinking the other day, like, I'm just sat there taking up in too much information all the time. My phone, wanting to learn, trying to quickly learn stuff and work stuff, and what people are telling me, and then my family telling me stuff, and my wife. Oh, it's too much.
Yeah,
it's a lot of information going in there.
It dysregulates you if you've not got little windows of pockets of time in where you return back to your centre. You become dysregulated.
Yeah, I sometimes sit there, and my wife's the same, and we openly say it, like, we sit there and we get uncomfortable just sitting there. We're like, what should I be doing? I should be doing something. There's something I should be doing. Dishwasher, laundry, bit of work. Like,
so there's an opportunity though, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's an opportunity to sit with those uncomfortable feelings that are coming up for you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Final question. The 5-year-old Mike who's just picked up the rugby ball for the first time is looking at you as a 40-year-old. What is he saying to you?
I struggle with this a little bit because of the journey I had has made me who I am today. But I think if there was some things, I'd be a bit more like, I look at someone like Hask, for example, and what he does, like, he's just so good at, like, going, I'm going to try that, and I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. Whereas I'm like worrying about what people think, and I don't want to do that, I'll fail or whatever. I wish there was a bit more of that in me sometimes.
So
I think there's more now, but
so
like,
would he say, Mike, forget what people think of you, mate.
Just go for it. Like, just back yourself, go for it more, whatever it is. Because even in my rugby, I don't think I was enough for that. You know, sometimes I'd be lining up for a drill and I'd be like, oh, I could fail at this. I'm good at step. Say one-on-one tracking, for example, because it's an easy one. Oh, no, I don't want to do this. I'm going to be up against, I don't know, Radwan. Get stepped. I look like a fucking idiot. Everyone's going to laugh at me. Yeah. Take myself too serious. Not take yourself too seriously. I think it's probably a good one. Because I am intense. I am serious.
Not take yourself too seriously and stop worrying what other people think.
Yeah, and just go for it.
It's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, then it will push me to then do more things out of my comfort zone, or it would have done.
You're moving in that direction, though, right? I mean, you're on this podcast being really, really open. You've been on other podcasts really, really open. So you are moving in that direction, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I think it's just come from stuff that happened early on with the divorce of my parents, and then my mum leaving and then not seeing her to this day, and all that. And then, you know, my dad remarried, gained 3 stepbrothers, not really wanting to. And kind of he's in that new relationship where they're going off and doing things, and we're kind of just left. And that sounds awful on here, but like, you kind of just get on with it. And then I think that made me more introvert and shy and things like that. But we had a good time as well, because we left in the house with mates and having house parties at the age of like 13, 14 and things like that. God, this is going to sound awful, isn't it? But you know what I mean? Like, he was doing his thing as someone would in a new relationship, and then you feel like, oh, maybe he's not giving me enough attention or whatever. And you're dealing with a divorce, and people don't understand how much divorces affect kids of all ages. Like, my wife went through one really early on, like 5. That's still a trauma for her. Even to this day. I went through it later, 12, and that still had its massive effect. So I think it all stems from there, really.
Kind of losing your mum at 12, you'd probably go into survival mode and just say, fuck it, I'm just going to fucking...
I was a mummy's boy as well, right? So as a lot of boys, the youngest and the boy are. So it definitely would have had an effect. Not that I was sat there going, oh, this having an effect. It was like, just things like, I ended up for a period not wanting to sleep in my own room. Like, on my own. No idea why. and just things like that, or just getting even more anxiety and nerves about stuff, and I don't know. It's it affects you.
Yeah, for sure. Have you had any therapy or in that and stuff?
No. You just get on with it, don't you? And then it comes out in different ways.
Yeah.
The anger, using anger a certain way, and things like that.
Yeah.
Probably that drive to kind of probably started around then to want to be like, show people that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And then that's fueled even more because I'm coming from a grassroots team, and most people that make it to England come from a certain other pathway, which is great.
Yeah, and you didn't go to boarding school either, did you?
Yeah, I didn't go to boarding, all those sort of things that are usually around rugby. Wanting to prove yourself all the time. That's a big thing in my career. Is I feel like most of my career I was constantly like trying to prove myself all the time. Chip on my shoulder, which drove that, that certain personality on the field, I think.
Yeah. Part of the journey, mate, innit?
That's it, yeah.
All right, mate. So I've enjoyed this conversation. It's good to see you again. Where can my viewers find more about Mike Brown these days?
Yeah, big on LinkedIn now. Trying to post around high performance, but through my experiences or just stuff I see that I find interesting, or stuff I'm doing as well. On there, and that's probably the best way to reach out in terms of consultancy stuff. On Instagram as well, like everyone else. Not as active on there. But I do enjoy the LinkedIn and reading what people are doing.
Instagram's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
A little bit. It's hard because then it fuels the things around like what you think you should be doing, fatherhood or work-wise, or you see what other people are doing, you think they're in a much better place. Transition, you see what other people are doing transition-wise. It's all like smoke and mirrors, isn't it?
Of course it is.
You actually realise people aren't in as good position as you think. And that'd be the same with me as well, right? Like we spoke about. Yeah. I've created something relatively smooth in terms of the transition I've made, with some luck along the way. But like I said to you, there is the negative side of still trying to navigate the changes and what I want to do, definitely, and the uncertainty and being at home more and family, and there's so much going on. So,
cool. Well, thanks for your time, mate.
Thank you.
My only advice to you is just look how far you've come, like in 5 years, the last few years, and if you make the same progress in the next 3 to 4 years, just think where you'll be then. Keep smiling, mate, and keep inspiring people. Sure, things will work out.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning into this pod, and I will see you on the next one.